When I was 11 years old, I picked up a guitar for the first time. I learned the chords C, G, and F major. Within a couple of months, I was writing songs with these chords. I wrote a song about my friend Jimmy spending too much time with his girlfriend. He wasn't happy. Throughout my teenage years, I played in a few bands with friends from school. The peak moment being ART, the band I was in at the time, selling out our local venue, The Junction, 850 tickets. Madness. I left for London to study music at university, hoping to meet musicians who would tour the world with me. In first year, I was lost and ultimately fell depressed due to anxiety and persistent panic attacks. Panic attacks are a daily occurrence and have been since I was 11 years old. Profusely sweating, heart palpitating, out of body feeling, I am going to die right now kind of panic attacks. When life is tough, I find them hard to control. But early one morning, I decided to run around the park. It started hailing. I'd never felt more alive until that point. Running became a necessity, and to this day, daily exercise is my remedy for almost everything. In second year of university, I started the band Ghouls. We played what seemed every basement venue in London. A few lineup changes and we'd figured ourselves out. We made a Kickstarter for our first album and played a 30-day tour called Can We Crash It Yours? We asked the question each night on stage. Somebody always put us up. Through the Kickstarter, we raised enough to record and release our first album. This led to tours of Europe, main stage festival slots, 2 EP releases and a demand for a follow-up album. Whilst recording album 2, we found out we'd be playing a festival out in Florida. We booked a 2-week tour of the East Coast USA, playing anywhere that would take us. In October 2016, we flew out to America for the first time and made some of the most profound memories I have to date. On the second day of that tour, I won a half marathon in Brooklyn. There were 180 runners. First place. Our second album release resulted in 2 more USA tours, more festivals, more European runs, and finally a headline tour of Australia. All through a Twitter conversation that got slightly out of hand. The band members met up in February 2019 and discussed the future. It seemed we'd reached our natural end. I'm still not 100% sure why. In October 2019, we played our final show in Shoreditch. The next day, I felt like I'd lost a huge part of my identity. Ghouls was an incredible experience, but through it, I built up a frustration. You see, I am a creative, and since I first picked up a guitar, I have been writing songs. Now, songwriting isn't something I just do every now and then. It's something I do all day, every day, because I can't switch it off. Ideas fall to me all the time. If I suppress them, I become sluggish, anxious, and lose all control of panic attacks. If I manifest them, I'm full of energy. The world is bright, and I feel like me. When Ghouls finished, I realised only 10% of the songs I'd written to that date had ever made it out into the world for people to hear. In his book, Show Your Work, Austin Kleon says, "You don't find your audience finds you, but you need a way of being found." August Radio Project. In March 2020, during the coronavirus lockdown, I realised that Ghouls was not the end. This was just the beginning. I needed an outlet where every creation, every song, every video gets further than my laptop hard drive. Views or no views, listens or no listens. I need a way of being found. In July 2020, I quit the job that I'd never wanted in the first place. I realised I'd never chosen to be there. In September 2020, my partner Laura and I moved into a converted Sprinter van and drove it out to Europe before the second UK lockdown. My life has never been normal. Van life was tough, but it gave me this incredible sense of clarity. Through it, I realised what it is I have to do. Songwriting is my life. so it needs to be my living. I started a website called imakesounds.com in order to sell my music to content creators license-free. A successful entrepreneur and good friend of mine reached out and asked me if, with his help, I wanted to create it into a proper business that rivals the competition. I of course said yes, but on the condition that we build a model that means any music composer that contributes to our website gets properly rewarded, whether their songs are downloaded or not. I'm here to make sure every musician gets paid for the work they do. I Make Sounds is due to launch at the end of the summer. Through my love for fitness, I follow a lot of athletes. A lot of these create YouTube videos called The Journey. The journey to becoming pro, the journey to the state champs, the journey to Ironman. So I've decided to start my own series called The Journey. An update of my journey as a musician. The journey to turning this August radio project into my full time. This is how I got here. Now follow along for the adventure. Thank you for listening.